Yo, what's going on YouTube? GZTV back with another video. Again, I'm under the weather. If you didn't see my Phantasm video, you know. Or if you did, if you saw it, you know that I'm kind of feeling a little sick right now. So I'm just going to get these videos out right now. Go to class, probably do some homework at lunchtime, and go to class again, come back, watch a movie. Probably watch some basketball and study. But man, I feel terrible. I need to toughen it out though, because I have 3 tests for the end of the week. It's just rough, man. Let's get into the plot. Let's get into the critical reception of this show, because I need to get this out of the way. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm tired of talking. So in the opening, after leaving the hospital, Gene Takovic suspects he's being followed and spends several days away from Omaha, feeling that people are kind of on his case, and he thinks that they might know that he's Saul Goodman. He returns and stakes out his apartment, but resumes his normal routine after finding nothing suspicious. He's like, oh, okay, I'm kind of in the clear here. After Gene returns to work, Jeff, the cab driver who picked him up at the hospital, says he recognizes Gene as Saul Goodman. That is not good. That's not good in his case. So the taxi driver, the reason why he was looking at him like that wasn't because he was like weird and suspicious. It's just because he knows that Gene's Better Call Saul. Gene plans to flee and calls Ed Galbraith for help, but changes his mind and says he will handle the problem himself. So he's kind of taking some authority. He's stopping. He's done running from his problems. That's an interesting character development there. Let's get into the main story. Jimmy McGill explains to Kim Wexler that the Saul Goodman alias from his prepaid cell phone business gives him an instant client base for a criminal law practice, because it's kind of a catchy name, Saul Goodman. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's a good marketing ploy for him to use. That's kind of what he's trying to point out here. Kim is wary but supportive and presents Jimmy with gifts to celebrate his return to practicing law. I mean, either way, whatever type of law he pursues, she's always going to be in support of him. They are dating currently, so obviously they have love for each other and care for each other. Kim does put a lot of effort in, but compared to Jimmy, but still. Saul runs an event to build publicity for his law practice, calling himself the Magic Man who keeps guilty people out of jail, kind of lying a bunch of times, just lying about how many years that Huel faced, and he got him out of jail. He said, 25 years. He didn't serve a single day in jail. Like, probably not realistic. It was more like 2 or 3 years. So he generates more publicity by using his camera crew to fake a confrontation with Deputy District Attorney Oakley, he's a pretty decent part of the show. I mean, he's made appearances on the show before, so, him and Jimmy know each other from the courtroom. Kim's pro bono client rejects a favorable plea bargain, and Jimmy offers to trick him into accepting. And at this point, Kim's like, alright, I'm kind of done manipulating people now. She had a weird change of heart here, which she was all for the manipulating people, but now, I don't know. Kim declines, but later uses Jimmy's idea herself, then vents her frustration and at letting Jimmy talk her into it. She's like, damn, man, I shouldn't let this man manipulate me like this. I gotta make my own decisions. So, yeah, he ends up kind of influencing her to trick them. Lalo Salamanca wonders about Werner Ziegler's identity and reason for being in Albuquerque. He's getting really, curious. He's, really interested in the whole scheme. He wants to, know the downloads of Gus Fring's business. Nacho Varga and Domingo inform him of quality issues with cocaine that Salamanca's received from Gus Fring. So, obviously, there's a problem, and Lalo kind of taking over as Don Salamanca, Don Hector, whatever. He wants to talk about he wants to talk about it to Gus. Lalo confirms their story and meets with Gus and Juan Bolsa. He tested himself. Fucking okay. I mean, it's kind of funny. And he's like, oh shit, this is way off than our original product. So he takes it to Gus and Bolsa. Gus falsely says Warner was constructing a chiller under Mike's supervision at the Los Players Hermanos farm, but fled after stealing cocaine. So he's kind of lying about the whole thing, making sure to get Lalo out of his hair and make him understand things, I guess. Gus claims he then attempted to cover for the loss by replacing the cocaine with local inferior methamphetamine, so obviously that's why they took him out. That's their story, even though Werner is from Germany and he probably has no desire to try cocaine or even steal it. Gus's cover story explains events of which Lalo is aware, including Warner's fleeing, Mike's pursuit, and Werner's death. So, Gus is one of the best liars I've ever seen on television, and this kind of proves it. Lalo accepts Gus's story and apology, but remains suspicious. He's like, this guy's kind of toying with me here, I feel like. He kind of has that feeling. Juan privately warns Lalo that Don Eladio Fuente and the cartel trust Gus, so he should consider the matter closed. Don't try to stick your head into it anymore, just kind of accept it as the truth, or else the cartel's going to get on your ass and probably kill you. Because of Lalo's suspicions, Gus stops work on the underground meth lab, kind of putting it on pause, and yeah. Mike Ehrmantraut sends Werner's men home, warned to remain silent and fully paid for the half-completed job. Gus informs Mike that Werner's widow accepted their story about a fatal construction accident and says she was well compensated, so Gus must have gave her some money for the loss of Werner Ziegler, even though he did something wrong and he escaped and without their permission. Gus offers to continue paying Mike during the construction delay, but Mike declines, frustrated with Gus's seeming lack of compassion for Werner, just kind of throwing him off to the side and acting like he wasn't even a thing. It's going to be a short episode. Magic Man received critical acclaim, of course. I mean, it's the part of the Breaking Bad storyline, so of course it's going to have some critical acclaim. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, perfect rating, 8.7 out of 10, and 20 people reviewed it, so that shows kind of the consistency. Jimmy McGill is dead. Long live Saul Goodman in a doom-laden premiere that rings heartbreaking juxtaposition between the Magic Man himself, embracing his sleazy stride, and the haunted fugitive he will inevitably become. So we know that eventually, based on what happened in Breaking Bad, Saul's going to get himself in a lot of trouble, and he can't really afford that because he's already been suspended for a year from his law license, I guess. I don't know what they call that. But, yeah, there's really interesting stories here. Gus and Lalo are kind of going at an all-out war with each other. It's just interesting stuff. It's a cool story, I guess. Yeah, I'm really tired. I need to get the fuck off of YouTube right now. And I have a fucking lecture coming up, and I gotta leave in like 10 minutes. But I am not feeling well. I will probably give you guys an NBA recap later tonight. But just know, if I seem lousy in my videos, that's exactly why. I'm just so under the weather today, so over it. I still have 2 more 50-minute lectures today, so oh my god. GZTV, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As always, reviewing your favorite TV shows. I have homework as well. Oh man, I gotta study all sorts of things. So I'm gonna watch a movie for the channel